Greetings and hello everyone. Once again, it is my privilege to be able to introduce the episode for you. I feel like it's been so long since you all and I have had a chance just to sit down and really enjoy a moment together. And I'm really happy that I get to talk about a few things. The main thing I'm going to talk about right now is PaizoCon is coming to the online world. That's right. PaizoCon is online, and that is next week. Signups are open, like right now. Go find a game and beat the quarantine boredom with some good old-fashioned Pathfinder or Starfinder fun. There are some excellent GMs out there running games. I know some of them myself. I can highly recommend that if you can get onto any of these online games, you're going to have an absolute blast. And what's cool is that although normally PaizoCon is obviously a physical convention that we get to go to, this is a kind of unique special, maybe one-time ever deal that we all get to participate in. And I would love it if a lot of the Cosmic Crit, the Crittermanders, could show up and really show the support for the online PaizoCon. So go out there and find a game, sign up, and enjoy yourself. Other things I always like to mention really quickly is if you're ever bored on a Thursday night, Drew and I are over on twitch.tv/CosmicCrit streaming some Final Fantasy VII. I'm playing through it for the first time ever, blind. No spoilers in the chat, please. And Drew is my helpful guide. Also joining us is our friend Mike, who used to do The More You Nerd. And speaking of The More You Nerd, I'm going to plug something in here myself. I actually went on The More You Nerd, which is Miles and Drew, and we're talking about Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, which I've really had a fun time talking to them and really looking deep into this series that I just haven't been exposed to until now. So there's a lot of stuff going on. I know there are a lot of people as we continue into the lockdown that are really maybe feeling the quarantine side of the quarantine. And as always, we are out there trying to produce content for you guys for y'all to enjoy and hopefully make life a little easier for you. But that's all I have to talk about. Once again, I hope everybody is out there staying safe and staying healthy. And on that note, here's episode 35, Flockbuster.
Episode commencing in 3, 2, 1. Episode initiated.
Dial in your codec and get ready to take on Fogtown in a very tactical espionage action-packed episode of Metal Crit Solid. This is your GM welcoming you back here. Your giant mecha Rex launching nuclear missiles and making you roll reflex saves for 1 million d6 damage. Joining me in infiltrating the Susquehanna Moses bases are my 5 friends and your player 2s. To my right, whether or not she's a DARPA worker or works for Armstech, she's going to develop some weapons for us. Why, it's Rebecca rolling with Zinnia.
Hello.
Across from her, tearing off his faceplate to reveal that he's been the villain all along, it's Drew delivering Echo 7.
Tearing off his faceplate to prove that he's been the villain all along?
To my right, let me read your Roll20 log here. Ah, yes, I see you like to roll low. No matter, it's Tyler dredging up to Vasho.
Words hurt, Patrick. That hurt.
Across from him, cyborg ninja attack cutting your arm off from out of nowhere. It's Jabert, playing as Trest.
Hey, Patrick, how are you?
And across the digital table, this mysterious baddie's got a pistol with your name on it. Why, it's Miles, mixing up with revolver sprouts.
Good evening.
Folks, welcome back. We've talked about it in our intros a great deal, but we have been recording a little bit in advance. But yeah, we have been, like everyone out there listening, in lockdown mode for what seemed like forever. I've had a lot of people joking that the last few months have been the longest year of their life. But I mean, it doesn't really show in our podcasts because, I mean, we've been playing online from 4 different states, since the beginning. So while we're also in quarantine, I know a lot of people out there are migrating their IRL games to Discord, to your Zoom meetings, is Skype still a thing? I guess maybe over Skype, and on Roll20 and other virtual tabletops. But yeah, I just want to take some time to check in on you guys, my players, see how you've weathered the storm. Everyone here is thankfully very healthy and hopefully as happy as you can be. So how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I don't want to sound like I'm trivializing anything, but this is the closest thing I've had to a summer vacation in 13 years.
Yeah.
And I have a backlog of movies,
got a
games,
lot of stuff.
books, and comics. So I'm an indoor kid at heart. So I'm honestly okay.
We obviously are on video for these games recently, and Miles, you have an X-Men figure behind you in a plastic case. You haven't even opened it up and played with it yet. So
Dazzler,
go ahead and do that now on the podcast.
No.
Crack it up.
That'd make for great audio.
Lots of gaming. Yeah.
I'm on the opposite end of that spectrum. I'm still working full time and have 2 kids at home. And Drew's in the same boat. So things are busy around these parts. But
just more work for you.
Yeah, it's just more work. It's like double the work. I have 2 full-time jobs now. So
yeah, it's tough. I've had to learn new math, which is not just like math that is new to me, but it's a thing called new math.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even like old math, so I can't imagine how awful that is.
Yeah, it's tough while doing work from home stuff, and I mean we're lucky that we can work from home, but
for sure,
it's a time. And
I will say I'm thankful for Animal Crossing because I think that it has helped me, and it's something the kids can play too, de-stress a little bit in our spare time.
Animal Crossing has definitely been therapeutic.
Yeah. On the other side of that, I still go into work. Nothing has changed for me. I am still doing what I did before COVID now.
Well, now you can't hang out with any of your other friends except us online.
Yeah, I'm a massive extrovert, which you
what
in the podcast, and this
shocking revelation here.
This has been crippling. But what is unfortunate is not only do I have to go and do my normal work, I've actually had to take on aspects of other people's responsibilities so that they can work from home. So one of our biggest customers where I work is a meat packer. So I get to go to their customer site every Friday. So not only am I going to my place of work, I'm going to someone else's place of work.
Oh boy.
So that's stressful, and fun. But hey, amongst everything, I also bought a Nintendo Switch to play Animal Crossing. Positives to every story.
Yeah, no, we bought ours when Miles, when you came up and visited,
we went to like PAX. 5 different stores to find that Switch.
Yeah, this is the end of February, and multiple stores were sold out of regular Switches at that point. Not something that was I would think in super huge demand at that time. But
it was crazy.
Animal Crossing release day, Rebecca could only find a Switch Lite to pick up. And
I'm actually okay with that, though. I will be I will speak fondly of my Lite. Like
I like the Lite.
Considering getting a Switch, and I love my Lite because it's truly lightweight. I don't get tired of holding it the way I would with a Switch. So
to be honest, I have not docked mine in the entire time that I've had it, so I probably should have got it late at this point.
I was a little nervous getting it because it was like, well, for $100 more, I can get a full console or whatever. But ultimately, I'm very happy with my purchase. So,
Jabert, how are you doing, buddy?
Dying a little bit every day, but I'm surviving. So,
do you have a backlog of games as well?
Well, yeah. So I'm still working from home and keeping reasonably busy. I've got a few games that I've been dipping into a little bit. Me and my dad are playing Minecraft together, which is fun.
Right.
Getting to teach him teaching him that game has made me realize how weird it is. And,
first thing is like, all right, Dad, go over there. I want you to punch that tree.
You got your first things first.
Hard.
You got to punch the dirt. No, don't keep clicking. Just click the one time and hold it down. Yeah, and so it's that's been fun. Other than that, I've been playing some RimWorld. Every week, I set up a game of Drawful for my group at work, and we all just like log on to Teams and and played Drawful together. So that's fun.
All of us in various times have been playing some more Jackbox and party games like that. More than we normally do with groups of friends. But it does make me appreciate them a great deal more. And just the ability to do quick VoIPs over Easter. I was invited to a huge family gathering over video over IP of like 20 family members. And I was like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to make it. I got a thing to do. I cannot imagine what that was like.
I did get out of.
I can tell you what that's like, Patrick.
Did you have a 20-person family
because
together?
Because it wasn't family, but we Zoom with my kids' class, so there's 20 second graders.
Well, the other kids get muted. I had some, I'm sure, very raucous family members yelling over Zoom. No, there's a lot of stuff. Hopefully, keeping folks out there sane. I know some people are happy that we're still. There's no disruption to the podcast or whatever. I don't think there will be unless, I don't know, the internet stops, I guess, maybe.
I mean, or if one of us gets sick.
Yeah, I was going to say, unless that happens.
I love all of you, but if I get COVID-19, I'm not playing.
Well, I should say, one of the reasons we were recording a couple episodes ahead was because we had trips planned, like out of the country. I was going to come visit Tyler around this time in May for PaizoCon. Things didn't work out that way, but now we're just a little bit ahead. So you guys have my permission to get sick, but you have to get better, and within a couple weeks.
That's a turn.
I hope everyone out there stays though 100% healthy. This has opened up my eyes to how important hand washing is at all junctures. But I whenever we come back out from like going to the grocery store or something, it becomes like a wash your hands before you touch anything situation.
And also moisturize, because washing your hands dries out your hands pretty bad, and mine are pretty bloody because of it.
Oh yeah, no, you get those cracks and then it's another way in. Good.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that, Patrick. No!
You gotta wash it up.
Cracks in the armor. Old Drew went down because his armor was cracked and dried.
You just use a moisturizing soap. That's another option.
I mean, that's also true.
Yeah, well.
All right, so once again, like I said, I think a lot of fans out there, they try to get away from things an hour or so a week by listening to us. Thank you out there for listening, and let's get back into the action of book 2 here. It is in order to do that though, we have to go to our good friend Sprouts to find out what happened last time on Cosmic Crits.
Nothing aboard the ship was adding up. No sooner had we dealt with the gremlins that were tearing the Terminus wide apart from the inside did it start to get quiet. Too quiet. I sealed the non-SDF passengers on the top deck because I trusted only my squad at that point. And that turned out to be a bum call. See, that gave Xantos all the ammunition he needed. He called a meeting with the entire ship and tried to weasel his way back onto the bridge. But something spelled worse than an Absalom fishmonger. Turns out his real goal was to force a vote to get me kicked off the captain's chair. But thanks to Tress calming the situation down, Xantos lost the vote. We put Zelenon on the bridge instead. You get what you deserve, Lochwort. Dirt nap's too good for you. There's only one plant streetwise enough that command this ship, and that's me, Captain Sprouts Marlowe.
Captain Marlowe. I could have been Captain Lochwort, NPC extraordinaire, if it hadn't been for you and your meddling bugs and other.
You fell afoul the wrong plant, Lochwort.
Oh boy. You guys got back to Oddrock, a space station outside of Ultraneous, the next closest planet, I believe, to the Susquehallian system's sun. Where almost all of the planet is escaping to. Mind you, a lot of people had already left Susquehallian for greener pastures. When the swarm come, it's like, well, we're not going to be in the system much longer anyway. But you parted with your passengers, including Zelenon, and this is the next morning. You guys get a good night's rest and are loaded onto a SDF military vessel, a huge troop carrier, with hundreds of other soldiers, and carted down to the surface of Ultraneous. This massive sea storm rocks your vessel as soon as it kind of dips into the lower atmosphere. Before you enter a relatively calm area, and you see the artificial limestone coastline region of a mega city behind a seawall. And this is New Graca, the immense urban sprawl, and you guys land right in the outskirts of it in a huge spaceport where you see disembarking, thousands of other people making their way through the system. It's a week after Susquehanna was given that evacuation order, and there are still ships arriving here probably every hour on the hour, through traditional means or through drift travel. It's all kind of, based on like how fast your engine was or how lucky you were with your drift drive navigation. So it took you guys like 6 days, I think, and it probably took some people 3, and others it might take 7 or 8. But yeah, it is a constant drip of people coming in. First, going into orbit and getting cleared, and then making their way down here. You're met by a military escort at the spaceport here, which is going to take you right into the center of the metropolis, where a lot of the SDF leadership has been given supposedly temporary offices in the New Graca City Hall. And when you're driving up towards it, you notice many buildings with a kind of a Baroque-looking front to them that seems to be artificially produced limestone cut to resemble some famous pieces of architecture back on Susquehanna. This planet was indeed kind of seeded after Susquehanna kind of branched out. At first, it was very inhospitable. They found a way to chemically create limestone rocks and make very large seawalls that made these large cities safe enough against the storms on it's a very waterlogged planet, made Ultraneous safe enough to inhabit. As you guys are passing through the streets here, you see a city in chaos. There are multiple roads that are shut down with SCF guards standing out with weapons in front of them. On more than a few corners, you see citizens rallying with signs demanding dozens of things from planetary leadership, and you pass many stores with signs in the window that we all know, out of toilet paper and other cleaning materials, also out of food in some places. And as your transport passes through these streets, you just see multiple instances of what looks like Susquehanna's evacuees kind of putting a strain on this city. It's a large city, maybe like 1.3 million or so there in the downtown and the outer regions, but looks a lot fuller these days. When you get up to the building here, it is, a very classical looking building, but it has now been fortified military fences and wire around the edge of it. You are directed from the front desk to go to what looks like half of a large conference room with a flimsy like prefab wall in the middle of it. And in the center of this room, looking understandably very tired, is a face that you haven't seen for some time, since back on Susquehanna, that of Commander Najiri.
Hooray!
Oh yeah, you guys remember this art here? You can see her. This art here on the side is an example of the metropolis that you're kind of passing by.
So we're talking sort of like skyscraper-sized buildings. Are we in a skyscraper, or are we in sort of a squat government building?
I would say there's probably not too many like metropolis skyscrapers that we know them, but almost every building might be like 20 stories or something along those lines. So they are tall.
So like a high rise, but not a skyscraper.
Yeah.
Got it.
It looks very, as you descended from above. Looks very mechanically organized, kind of like if you've ever been to Washington, D.C., for the most part, very grid-like in its design.
Okay.
I don't know. I believe some of your characters have maybe been to the planet before. I think we talked about Tyler, your character, having worked here. But it is, I think it might have the feel of like an outpost city, kind of far out there, but it is very, very new feeling. So when you get to this room, Commander Najiri welcomes you inside and says, I'm glad you could join us here on New Graka recruits. She snaps a salute to you and says, your resourcefulness and quick thinking saved the lives of those final evacuees, but the war is not over. The government of Ultraneous has declared a planet-wide state of emergency in anticipation of potential swarm assaults, and the SDF is working with local governments to fortify cities across the continent as best we can. But before I give you an extra assignment, I would like to hear from you firsthand about your final mission on Susclin and subsequent events that have led you here.
Where's Michael Pena?
First we did this, and then we did this.
Well, we do have a tremendous amount of Sprout stories that we could play her.
Yeah. So Sprout's just like sends all of his logs and highlights the fact that Xantos Lochworth needs to be arrested for mutiny.
Jeez.
Are we just gonna play the last 8 logs
Yes.
in the episode right now?
To punctuate to help punctuate the sad discovery of the loss of the squad that came before us, I think Devasha would hand over the ident tags that he collected at this point. Seems as fitting any just as proof of that. We did locate the squad, and there was only the one survivor.
Did he make it? Did he make it to the planet?
Theoretically.
Who? Suthreth Cesaro?
Yeah.
She can, she updates the ident tags from MIA to KIA, unfortunately. As she does, she looks him up and says, yes, he is resting in a medical hospital, it seems here. But he indeed did make it off. Looks like on one of the last boats, unfortunately.
Do you know what was wrong with him? His noggin didn't seem to be all there.
I don't have access to that information, but she can jot down the address if you guys do want to, pay him a visit.
Okay.
I'll grow some flowers.
It's a military. You'll grow some flowers. Are you gonna change into a flowering?
I'm assuming Raxlights could probably do that, right?
So on your head you have 2.
I've got a puddle on my head, but I'm assuming I can do something to that effect.
You're not Groot, and you never will.
I could be. The language on the Raxlight page does not say we can't.
That's not how the classes work.
That's how it works to me.
Classes or races. Oh boy. Right. So if you're updating her on, getting Zelenon out and things like that, or along with the rest of the evacuees, and you explain about Xantos Sprouts, she's like,
he does in great detail.
I am glad you were able to complete your mission. I'm told the priest Zelenon will be debriefed soon. This Xantos character indeed seemed like a pain in the rear end. He sent a civilian complaint to my commanding officer regarding you all, and she holds up a printed out, very official looking piece of stock on SDF letterhead, kind of awkwardly to the side of her desk. And instead of over the middle to hand to you to read, and she just lets it fall into a shredder, and there's a bright blue glow as it is atomized.
Sprout just kind of laughs at that.
Oh no, my fingers slipped. We'll have to get that typed back up. But indeed, that Lochworth character had a number of things to say about you, Marlowe. None of them good. Seems like you might have rubbed him the wrong way.
Likewise, and he was likely just jealous about my captain's chair. Honestly, he's no better than the Swarm himself, and you might want to shoot him out of an airlock as soon as possible.
He's no better than a mindless killing swarm of bugs.
Well, what is important is you didn't do that on board the ship in front of the other civilians. I, in fact, got a phone call this morning from Councilwoman Gishi, and she had very positive things to say about your travels here.
Well, we're professionals, and that's what we aim to do.
You didn't lose your cool, which is why I am happy that you made it to Ultraneous. I have need of soldiers with your experience. Anyway, regardless of what he felt was the right call, he was not military and does not understand we don't have the luxury of lamenting every wrong decision that we make. You all have indeed, I'm sure, made some errors, but it doesn't mean you can give up control of a ship full of evacuees to some BBRC shill.
Amen.
Awkward.
Anyway, diplomacy is the name of the game here on Ultraneous. The city's population of New Graka tripled in about 72 hours. It's growing by the day. We still have some of the larger civilian ships in orbit waiting for clearance, waiting to clear quarantine. Devasho, your husband, is still aboard one of the ambassador ships, I believe. I've been assured your family is fine, but as I said, this military operation is now completely different, Midnight Squad. We're moving from an unwinnable war against the Swarm to a vitally important humanitarian mission here on Ultraneous. These people are out there in the streets. They are not the enemy. I need to reiterate that. You have to treat them with as much care as you delivered the rest of the evacuees from Susclan. Food's in short supply, and people are testing the framework of living under martial law. She'll hand you like some intel to like go over about, statistics and things of what's been happening in the days since ships started arriving. It's been a very busy week here while you guys have been traveling. And she says, Ultraneous has a fleet of drones as well as robotic security robots that it uses for a lot of its policing as well as matters like crowd control. But we need people with hands-on experience to take over some more of the delicate matters here on the ground. Now that I know I can trust you with just about any mission, expect to muster out at any moment. Before you do that, obviously we have a great deal of catch-up we have to do, official stuff. She stands up straight on her cybernetic leg, seems very sturdy on it now, and takes kind of a ceremonial air, and reads from her data pad and says, in recognition of your bravery in the face of overwhelming odds and certain danger, the Susclan Defense Force awards each of you the Radiant Star Medal of Courage. She grabs a wooden box from her desks and opens it to reveal 5 glowing medallions. And she goes down the line and pins them on you. And then goes back to her desk and sits down and says, sorry, there isn't more pomp involved, but we don't have the luxury for a parade at this time, nor the resources. In addition to the medallion, each of you has been promoted to an equivalent pay grade of that of a lieutenant, as well as to account for active combat pay. Sprouts, I'm happy to say you are officially promoted to private first class. And Trest, I had a look at your records. Now that you are under my command, I have impunity to make decisions like this, and I have decided to expunge your prior infraction, which means you now have returned to you your prior rank, and I award you the rank of sergeant officially.
Whoa. Commander, I will lead them as best I can.
Wait, is
lieutenant higher or less than sergeant?
Oh my, you've been in the military for some time.
Oh boy, it's been a long time though since I've looked at the old books. Uh-oh.
I don't think it's been that long. Can it have been? No. So you guys have like the pay of a higher class. But I believe sergeants, privates, and PFCs are all in your squad right now. She explains this is kind of like a special squad now, and says all of you, though, will report to me, but for times when you're unable to make contact, Trest will have the final say in any matter outside of a starship's captain. Do I make myself clear?
Crystal.
Yes. Yes, Commander.
Trest, I am indeed counting on you to make sure the rest of these privates are held to SDF standards, as you have been in the dirt the longest. Midnight Squad was your former call sign, but if you want to rename yourself here on Ultraneous, then be my guest. But as I said, you'll simply be reporting to me and are considered outside the normal battalion structure as a special squad performing whatever unique duties that I see fit. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Commander. Commander, Commander, what do you see our first mission as being? Are we to start right away?
Well, yes, I am managing about 20 other squads, so I am handing out duties as I see fit, but as I said, those that I think might require more diplomacy, I will be sending your way. But for the time being, you can check in with the duty officer right at the front, and you can take up guard duty for headquarters here. I believe you got a good night's rest, so I will call you back as soon as something comes up. But before that, you do have a requirement, I believe. I have updated your SDF equipment account, and you all seem to be much overdue for a resupply and a gear upgrade. If you recall from Gallant, Quartermaster Jenkser, well, she has commandeered the basement of City Hall as our new weapons depot. So get yourself re-equipped and be ready for my call. Unless you have any other questions, you are dismissed.
I have one quick question.
Dabash?
Is there any way that soon I may be awarded some leave so I may go see my family on the ambassadorship?
I myself don't have a significant other in the ambassador's offices, so I couldn't tell you if you have the ability to pull any strings with that. But as it stands, from my point of view, we are all still on active duty in a war, Private. For the time being, your skills are required here on the ground. That being said, we are rotating out our frontline squads to get R&R, and what you do in that time is up to you.
Thank you, Commander.
She'll show you a schedule of rotating out people for a day off, basically, that they're developing here. They're still, and she explains this, getting a full grasp of how many people were lost, soldiers as well as civilians. So it is a number and a schedule that is going to be changing daily.
Sprouts ends up speaking up, and he asks, Commander, what's the position of the swarm right now? Are they following us here?
They seem to be parked around Susquehanna. We are, of course, keeping abreast of the situation, but for the most part, we imagine it'll only be a matter of time unless they are spending it stripping Susquehanna and then move off. They have left other planets alone in the same system before, but as I said, it is up to whatever whim brought them to Susquehanna in the first place. There are a great deal less resources outside of salt water here on Ultraneous for them to devour, but if I knew that, then I would probably be a lot higher rank in the SDF than just Commander.
Well, thanks anyway.
So she'll dismiss you all and allow you to make your way downstairs to find the Asogi Jenkser in the basement. And as you descend the steps and open up a few doors, you hear a loud bang of weapons fire and see her coming out of a room marked firing range, holding out a huge hand cannon about the size of her head, and a sheet of polyfiber Kevlar with a swarm silhouette on it, a firing sheet. She takes off her earmuffs as she sees you walking into her weapons depot and says, "Well, hey, it's the 5th Battalion. You all made it off of Susquehanna alive. Well, I know the one Private Hesselman who owes me 20 credits. Great job, you all. Let's keep that living streak going. You got some ROs, some request orders for me? I got a full set up here. Including a Technomagic printer, machine fabricator, all the rest. What are you all looking for?" You guys get 2,000 credits, which we talked about between episodes, with which to buy some gear. Did anybody have anything crazy? Character changing?
Character changing? No.
I mean, not too crazy. Sprouts is going to get a personal upgrade.
Is anyone not getting a personal upgrade?
Yeah, I'm getting one.
I think we're all getting personal upgrades,
Yeah,
right? If we didn't have one already.
Like everybody's part of the club.
Yeah, so
The Ping Club.
there's time to do this. Jankster says, we've got a couple seats in the other room, just a few medical students here on Ultraneous that can assist with any augmentations or personal upgrades you want to make. They'll juice you up faster than a rat hot rod and stronger than a roided out dragon can.
What about weapon fusions?
I can do those myself. I've got the ability to print them, install them for you.
Jabasha maybe pulls the crystal, his Solarian crystal, out of his moat, and it's like, if you could kindly put a opportunistic fusion on my crystal, I would be most appreciated.
I imagine it's like black and dark and cracked and things. Like as soon as you pull it out of your moat, and she like grabs it with a couple of fingers, glove fingers, and says, "Yeah, I can do that. That's no problem."
Zinnia's in the market for a Thunderstrike pistol.
Ooh,
Yeah.
a lady with good taste. I have one of those ready. Is that level 3? Thunderstrike?
4? I think it's
Oh, yeah,
level
no.
4.
She'll have that. Anyone else? Anything else fun? Yeah, so anything that is wacky, she'll put in the request order for. It says she can have it for you in a few hours. She's got some like privates working under her as well, so she can get stuff prepped very easily. If you guys are all going in for augmentations, personal upgrades, and things like that, we should talk about them. We've talked about them briefly on the show before, but they are your stat boosts from things you can buy. Basically, you get those boosts at every 5th level, but these you can get 3 of them if memory serves, one of each level. So there's a +2, a +4, and a +6. These ones that you guys are getting are +2, and they could be a couple different things. I believe they could be like technology based. They could be like primarily magic based or biological. So like that might be just getting another heart like installed, or like an encasing around your current heart to beef up your fortitude, something along those lines.
I can't have any more things done with Jabasha's heart. It's already necrotic. I can't just start shoving in more things.
Well,
and Echo 7 something Tin Man something.
Well, I was about to say you can have any of them, but have you guys given a thought to which kinds your character would be going for?
Sprouts is definitely going for Dex.
Yeah, but we're as I said, biological, magical, or like a technological upgrade. Do you see him lean in any one way?
Probably biological, since he's more in tune to the biomes, I guess, of things.
Yeah, I think Jabasha will definitely lean magical, because that's just like, it's an ability crystal. He's got he has a moat. He has a Solarian crystal. I think the ability crystal, the magical aspect of it, would appeal to him.
Zinnia, as both a scientist and a Strix, is a little leery of magic, so would go for the technological without a doubt.
Yeah, and you're getting an int boost.
I think I'm actually going to go for Dex.
Oh, okay. So that would be something along the lines of you can still like have that installed in your brain or on your brain stem, and it's something to give you like faster reflexes, and normally there's that slight delay of your thoughts moving your arms and things like that, and this is like cutting that down.
Yeah, it is. I think in some other version of this game there was a thing called like a wirejack tendon. So maybe like your tendons are getting replaced with like upgrades or something. So you can, like,
what about Echo 7?
And of course, going technological. Basically in a suit of armor anyway, so it makes sense just to swap out some chipsets, upgrade some processors, coprocessors, movement functions, and...
Yeah, I mean, you can straight up mess with things that are in your head, right? maybe like one of the engineers comes over to help you install it, and you're like, I got this! Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Yeah.
Trest, I don't want to assume you're going magical, but
I mean, honestly, I feel like I would probably go hybrid. That seems like it. Although I don't want to be like, I go to the nearest store and find a bug and stick it in my ear. You know, like.
Oh no, it wasn't. All of a sudden I can understand every language. This is wrong.
Right. It's like that's the way that a lot of the hybrid items sort of get described. It's like, we stole a gland from this animal and now we're just going to squish it on in there.
The shopkeeper's like, wait, did you say personal upgrade or tapeworm? Yeah, it's probably fine.
Yeah, either way.
Right. So you guys were, wow, I didn't know everyone was boosting. Everyone was getting juiced up, but it's high time. You guys went through like almost all of book 1 and all the shenanigans on the ship with like pretty basic gear. But I'm happy to say you grow in a little bit. Take a look at these character sheets, and yeah, it looks like everyone's just about. Did anyone take anything besides strength or dex?
I took wisdom.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah. So you get some more potential skills in the spells in the future.
Yeah, and also I just, oh boy, I really was hurting for those resolve points. So,
right.
Loving that extra resolve right now.
Right. You'll get another one next level. Is that a
level 4? Yeah.
All right. Good. Right. So after you guys take your time to upgrade, you get sent on patrol just around the perimeter of City Hall, maybe for like a 6-hour shift or something along those lines. It's a couple of city blocks that have been fortified with concrete dividers and some like conning towers, barbed wire, 10-foot tall fences, and is indeed now just a military base of operations. In the guard stations on all the corners and entrances, you see SDF troopers, much like yourself, as well as what looks like Graka militia, blue-jacketed soldiers that make up maybe a quarter of the forces here. It's a pretty quiet couple of hours, though you do sense there is a lot of unrest in the city. Maybe like a quarter of a mile away, you hear chanting, like a protest. Police sirens, emergency technicians, like maybe every 15-20 minutes, racing to something else. And you can smell it in the air and see wisps of smoke in the distance, what seems to be a raging inferno on the other side of town. But where you are, this side of town seems to be extremely fortified, like City Hall, so it's very secure and it's very, very quiet, patrolling this building. It's during this time, though, that Devasha, you're called back inside to a landline, believe it or not, like a direct comm unit to attached to a computer. And you have received a call from your husband.
Finally! Devasha, very, very excited.
Yeah, it is a live call via satellite, and he says, Dava, it's good to hear your voice.
It is good to hear yours. I was lucky enough that the commander knew of your safety when I first arrived, so I was happy to hear of your well-being.
Yes, Najiri, I might have called every couple of hours in the last few days, checking in on the lists. Well, I just wanted you to know we are fine. We've obviously made it out of Suscalon just fine with the ambassadorship. The children here, I've enrolled most of them in what they're calling a camp with some of the other dignitaries and councilpersons' children's. I have something very serious to talk to you about, Devasho. I've volunteered to oversee a game night here on the ship, and I'm very sorry to report that we are raising a crowd of sore losers in our house.
Devasho chuckles and he's like,
They would not all be sore losers if you maybe did not go all out on them with every game that you played.
I'm not joking around here. I'm happy to know that you are well and you're safe. But do you allow them to beat you at every game that you play? They complain that I am indeed a lot more difficult to beat than you.
I mean, I am sure it is just that your skill level is much higher than mine. I have no idea that I would ever let them win.
Are you feeling okay, Devasho? You're not looking very well. Are you getting enough to eat?
Yes, well, I suppose since we are speaking of things that are not good, there are things that are not good, and it has nothing to do with the war effort or the escape, but rather there is something going on with my Solarian abilities that I do not understand. I am not sleeping well, and if I am to be honest with you, which I always am, I feel my body changing, and to be honest, I do not think it is for the good. It is difficult to understand right now.
You have seemed to have lost a great deal of mass. Is there an SDF doctor that you can speak to? Someone you can perhaps check in to hospital for some time?
I have had a few doctors already look at me, and even one of my compatriots is a trained mystic. I mean, when it comes to vitals, I am as healthy as I have ever been, but there is something else eating at me, something that is magical in nature and nothing I've ever encountered before.
We have excellent doctors here aboard the ambassador's ships. I will be consulting with them, but in the meantime, before we can get you up here, I wanted to let you know I do get daily updates through the government infosphere, and if you all need anything that I can help provide, let me know. I want to bring the kids down. I want to settle, but there are warnings daily now that New Graka is too dangerous. Have you seen anything? What is your opinion on the ground?
There is a tense air that prevails the streets. It is obvious that resources are scarce, and I fear that soon there will be fighting over those scant resources if the population continues to swell. I think my commander, Najiri, she mentioned that the population has tripled. I cannot imagine that number I can only imagine that number will continue to rise, and that fear will continue to propagate those who are not ready to handle this situation.
Najiri has many squads under her command, but I think she has a good head on her shoulders.
Agreed.
I have to go. They limit our time here on the direct link up to the ground, but I'm happy you are safe. If you have any time to record messages, I can share them with each of the kids. But,
I will be sure to record some special personalized messages that you can play, and if something comes up here on the ground that I think you could assist with, I will be sure to send it your way.
Stay safe, Dava, and keep your squad safe. I love you, and I cannot wait to speak with you again, hopefully in person.
Tell the kids I miss them. I love you as well, and please stay safe and away from the planet if possible.
Farewell. It clicks off, and as soon as you get back out to the rest of your squad, and you guys are like kicking dirt, walking around the rest of the facility here, you do get called back in, all of you, to the building, as there's an incoming comm call from Najiri requesting you to meet her in another building, or section of the building, that as soon as you get there, kind of taped on the front, it reads War Room. And as you enter, you see maybe half a dozen technicians at different computer terminals speaking into comms, kind of directing troop movements. Commander Najiri, very spry on that new leg now, kind of walks over to you and brings you towards the back where there's a large holographic projector in the center of the room. High-tech stuff like in the ceiling that you guys can just like walk through the holograms. She kind of taps on her data pad, and you all see what looks like a recreation of an aerial view from a drone feed, kind of like made 3D, like, you know, a Google Maps kind of like makes a static image pop, and you see what looks like in on a city block between a few buildings, a large kind of boxy looking industrial park. And Commander Najiri says, this is the water collection facility, about 30 or so blocks from here. Filters in the briny rainwater, processes it for energy, potable supplies. I got an alarm forwarded to me from city engineers that 2 hours ago it looked like the emergency alarms were tripped as the primary tunnels connecting the plant have become clogged. She kind of zooms in on this feed, and you see like water rushing out one of these sets of stairs on what looks like a huge, like 50-foot wide rain collecting funnel. Typically, they have service crews that could handle this kind of thing, but the city's engineers are tied up, throwing up the shelters for Susquehanna evacuees, and I have upgraded the site as it has been deemed a security risk because of she's cut off as the feed from the drone kind of goes haywire, spinning and shaking until it's clear it's not under its own control. And you see in this live feed like white feathers and a large yellow beak before it gets like cut out because of the muatas, local pests of the coastline, and they breed aggressively and kill to protect their territory. They're also known to steal small objects right off of a soldier's kit. These birds are very dangerous, so don't think twice about taking one down. Xenia, I would advise against taking flight near them as they are known to swarm. If you make yourself a large target, the rest of your squad is on the ground. But your first mission, I need you all to hike out to the water treatment facility, see if you can tell what's happening out there. See if you can get this thing back online, or if we need to secure the site and wait for a repair squad to get freed up. Any questions?
What are the birds called?
Muatas. Muottas. Or a muata. It's a single.
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh boy. Any real questions? I guess for her, not for me.
Are we sure that it's just Moatas that are going to be there, or is there potentially something else that...
I'm not sure of anything here. It's war.
Yeah. In lack of knowledge is what we put boots on the ground for, and why I'm sending you out there.
What do we know specifically about the Moatas before we head out there? I know that the things that you just said, but do we... If they're local pests, surely there is more information about how they nest, things they're afraid of that normally scare them off, things that cause them to gather, anything like that that we can find out before we head out.
I mean, she doesn't have a lot of information in front of her, but if you guys want to try and access a computer terminal, there is full infosphere capabilities here if you want to search for some information. Xenia, if you want to make a life science and just see what you might know off the top of your head, you can.
Yeah. I was gonna say Xenia would probably like to take 20 if that's an option to look up some stuff about these things. But I'll do a life science check.
You can if you have access to that infosphere. Take 20 because you do not know. You've rolled a 3 on the dice. You've heard there's all kind of interesting creatures maybe here on Ultraneous, but you've not got a chance to see any of them firsthand. Looking it up, they are indeed pretty crazy pests. Let me get you a picture of these guys, because picture's worth 1,000 words.
Nice.
Yeah, this actually tracks because birds aren't really, despite the fact that she's a Strix, aren't really her specialty, if you will.
This looks like a Pokemon you do not want to mess with. here's the.
It honestly does. It honestly looks like a certain Pokemon.
4 winged, and it has like this razor kind of hooked looking bill.
It also looks like it says mine.
So the one thing that's sort of missing from this picture is the scale.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any pictures of these next to a person?
Yeah, I mean they're big. They you see, some that are like as small as hawks, so maybe like 3 or 4 foot wingspan, and then there's some that are like much more kind of like full-breasted and have like these longer plumages on their tails, and you see like one of them next to some of these smaller muatos like stretch its wings, and it's like 6-7 foot wide. So it looks like most of them are indeed the small size in Starfinder. So
got it.
Yeah.
Like
four
big
wings.
old dog.
4 wings, which I think is interesting because it's such a sci-fi thing to have. Like, oh, it's like what you've known, but something is doubled.
Joshua has a question for
At least it's not like an odd number of wings. Like, that would bother me.
Yeah.
It's like 3 over here and 2 over here.
It'd fly in a circle,
Right.
What was that, Tyler?
Devasho has a question for the commander.
Yeah.
What are the potential short-term consequences of this treatment facility having such a large leak?
I mean, I don't have to tell you that we have more mouths to feed than this city ever has before. And while many supply ships were able to make it off Susquehanna from the LAA and other companies, Susclin was the breadbasket of this system. The supply of water that this city is able to sit on at one time will not last more than a month. So there's several sites along the city that collect rainwater and process it. They need to be operational 24/7.
Understood.
If you guys don't have any other questions, she'll say, move out. It will be like an hour or so march to get there. So let's make them force march rules. You've been marching all afternoon. I'm just kidding. You guys.
Hold on. I do have a question, not necessarily for her, but for you, just to recap. So our mission here is to find the cause of the clog, not to fix it, or...
Well, both if you can.
If possible, okay.
Yeah, if it's something outside your
Would we have
purview, she wants you to secure.
Right, if it would take like a backhoe to do it, like we don't have to if we could.
a backhoe?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Would we have time to swing by and maybe grab some special supplies before we march out?
Like just downstairs to Jankster, something she would have. Yeah, and in the time you guys have been on guard duty, whatever you've ordered, created from her, she'll have for you. So
I'm not going to worry about it right now, but I'm definitely going to probably go through the equipment list and see if there's anything that might, assist with patching walls or, fixing well-known objects that are like in that facility that we might need to have on hand.
If you want to help with engineering, which would probably be the skill required, you can get an engineer's toolkit. Pick one of those up. They're fairly cheap. I believe like maybe 100 credits.
Okay.
If they have scarecrows, or I'm sorry, scarewakas.
Skawatas?
Scaremuada.
Engineering kit is only 20.
Okay. Yeah, so probably pick up one of those and
you buy all the engineering kits from.
I mean, according to the loot table, because I bought one at the beginning of the campaign and spent 20 credits on it.
Yeah, I know there are some there's like some paste or there's some kind of substance that has like a very specific function in terms of like putting something, but I'll have to look through some equipment stuff and see if it's even
okay. It's probably not just like a crack in a single thing if like this huge facility is flooding somewhat, but I mean that's something if is needed you can come back and get.
It's true.
But yeah, you guys are able to muster out, and as you're watching kind of the scenery fall behind you, walking through the city, you're headed towards the seawall, towards the ocean, and you pass by the building about halfway through your trip that ignited what seems like earlier that morning, and is now just a burnt and smoldering kind of steel frame. It seemed to be a large tenement building because you see 100 or so very tired-looking civilians covered in soot, along with officials and security personnel kind of marching through this disaster scene. And for the rest of your march, only other thing of note is what looks like a lot of New Gracken citizens here in the city kind of giving you dirty looks. There are some that when they see you marching, a massive Trox and maybe a flying Strix overhead, they quickly cross to the other side of the street, clearing the way for you. But besides that, it's a lot of the same that you saw coming into the city. It looks like, indeed, under martial law, people were like being stopped and kind of asked what their business is being outside. There are some protests that you see, but it's not too long that it gets to maybe a quieter, like industrial side of the city, where you come to the area marked on your maps. A fenced off industrial park centered around what looks like a large funnel of plastic and ceramic, serving as the rain collection point for the city's water purification system. The top of the funnel is about 50 foot in diameter, narrowing down to about 10 foot at ground level. And you see it kind of connecting to a whole bunch of pipes there that go underground. The open end is 30 feet above ground, and there's a couple of staircases providing access to what looks like a maintenance catwalk, like a walkway around the edge. The walkway leads to, there's a square control platform with some, what looks like, as you're staring at it from beyond the fence, a lot of trash piled up in this area. So it is open air with a small covering on it, but you see indeed what looks like things that might wash up on the beach, along with plastic trash and things in that little room. It seems like the reservoir is full, as there is indeed water spilling out over the southern staircase and forming a huge puddle. And I'm just going to take us to the map, and you guys can see what I'm explaining. In the northern side here, where you see these 3 areas, these are kind of like open air storage pavilions. They are empty. It seems like maybe they held there's like some pallets and things, plastic crates, but it looks like whatever they held, like equipment wise, has been moved out of here. And they're open on all sides, but they're covered from the elements from above. So that is the map. That is what you guys see. You basically enter from any side of this map. What would you guys like to do?
Well, since Trust is technically our ground leader, I think he should decide.
Let's see. Let's take a look at these. Open air pavilion storage silo things.
So coming in from that side?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I suppose I'm just looking really to see if there's a thing stapled to the sign that says what they're supposed to be, or like a stamp on it somewhere that says what should be contained inside of this.
You find maybe 1 or 2 pieces of leftover equipment, but it seems like a great deal of pipes and other fittings and things for the technical work that they do here.
I see.
You reckon it's probably been cleared out, because from what Najiri explained, just about every single technical crew in the city is now on an undeveloped side of town building.
Building out the infrastructure
housing.
Over there.
Yeah. Building massive evacuee housing. So maybe there was 500 yards of plumbing and tubing here that was just gathered up in a haste, and they're mainly empty now.
Okay, I see.
Why doesn't everyone place yourself on the maps and go ahead and give me a perception check? I'll tell you what else you see here.
Hey! Oh wait, that was Zinnia's roll. I was almost proud of Devasho for a second, a split second.
You did roll bad.
What's the light level here?
I imagine it's still midday. Since you came down.
Get me smaller again.
Gotcha.
So Echo 7 with a natural 20 perception check for a 25.
Ooh, good. I think that is the highest amongst y'all.
We didn't mention it, but
not natural 20, but 26.
Ooh, goodness.
A very fun thing happened when Drew and I was streaming. I changed our subscription notification to be the Cosmic Crit, the crit sound drop that we have now.
Oh my!
Anytime somebody subs on Cosmic Crit account, we get to hear that sub drop. It's enjoyable.
Maybe it's just the vantage point sprouts on top of Echo 7. Both of you see indeed inside this square offshoot up the steps, about halfway up the collection thing. Just very slight kind of movement in what looks like that huge rat's nest of trash. You see what looks like all at once a host of wings kind of flapping, making their way out beyond the catwalk around the funnel. Indeed, you see 2 squat-looking muatos taking off from the center of the facility out into the air, with a larger third one behind them, kind of sticking in that room. But yeah, 4 wings flapping, and we are in initiative turn order.
Hey.
With the Sprouts and Echo 7, you get to make a move in the surprise round. Mover action.
I really need to take improved initiative at some point.
So these are unintelligent pest creatures, right? They're just critters.
Low intelligence, but I think they have intelligence. Yes.
Yeah, I mean they're smart birds, but they're not gonna have a conversation with you. They're
not studying for their exams. They're just like caca,
no, they are give me your hot pretzel right now.
Okay, are they give me your hot pretzel right now? Or are they caca, which means that they want your hot pretzel?
True.
Well, if you speak their language, they're like, give me your hot pretzel. I'm sure.
Well, if they have a language that implies
all we're learning is that Echo 7 brought a lot of hot pretzels, and he's really worried right now.
Zinnia, do they want my hot pretzels or what?
My internal composition is 76% hot pretzel.
I'm all pretzel.
Bird's my only weakness.
I've rolled very low, but in this surprise round, you both have an action. What would you like to do? First up is Echo 7.
I should shoot these things, right?
I mean, right now they're just like flying out of what looks like a roost. It's up to you.
Should I shoot them or should I throw a grenade into the roost?
Oh boy.
Or is that just going to stir up more of
Yeah,
them?
piss all of them off at one time. Let's see how the hell that turns out.
I think I'm going to aim for the big one.
Which one is that?
You said there were two smaller ones flanked by a big one.
Yeah, the big one seems to be not exiting this area in the center of the map, this kind of square area. So you can barely see them inside there. You definitely don't have a shot. You might just see like a flap of a very large wing.
All right. Well, I'm going to take my hail cannon and I'm going to shoot this one on the east.
Okay, you can try. You could certainly try, Drew.
How high up do they seem to be flying?
Right now they're about 40 feet up.
Oh, okay. I might not be able to hit these things at all.
You're about 20 feet away, so.
All right. Echo 7, we're going to take a little walk, and we're going to move over here to try to get kind of a better vantage point of what might be going on inside this area.
Still can't see in there. Mind you, that the square kind of control room is about 30 feet up these stairs around the ring. But you get a little better view of the birds coming off the catwalk. Sprouts, a move or a standard action?
Well, since I'm on top of Echo, I'm going to shoot at the closest bird to me.
Okay. What's the range on your pistol?
I believe is it 50 feet?
What pistol you got? You got the
static
arc, right?
I need to check on that.
Well, you can make your roll, and we'll see how close.
Yeah. That's a good point. It might not even matter. Yeah, it doesn't even matter.
What'd you get?
Failed the trick and rolled 10 on the attack.
Oh yeah, it definitely doesn't matter because that shot goes wide. Unable to target. So you wouldn't be able to trick this round anyway because it's just a standard or a move.
Right.
That 10 is a miss. But you get another chance very soon as we're starting the first full turn here, but not faster than Zinnia, who is at the top. What did you roll on initiative here? An 18 on Nish, +7. What you got, Rebecca?
All right. Is it necessary to roll life science to identify these things, considering we were just told what we were looking at?
Yeah, for the purposes of getting a boost, you will have to roll. But like I said, when you've already got something identified, is going to be a very simple roll. So I think you might have it even at this point with a 1. But let's just double check. Give me that roll.
Can we try to get one more piece of information from it?
Woo.
27.
Yeah, I was about to say now that we're full on here, I can give you like 3 or 4 pieces of information. You've gleaned a good deal from just maybe watching some quick nature documentaries about these things. They indeed are very dangerous with their talons. They are razor sharp and can come in very fast in a special ability called Dive Bomb, which basically allows them to just fly right down and claw at people and fly off in a very fast aerial attack. But also a good deal of this documentary that you watched is about them being pickpockets, basically pilfering your hot pretzels as well as most any shiny object that can off of people and taking it back to nests to make their roost. Any other piece of information you want? I will tell you that is their main special ability, their only real special ability.
So you mentioned before that Nigiri warned Zinnia not to fly because they have a tendency to swarm. Is there an ability attached to that? Like, do I know more information about why she would give me that advice?
No, just territorial. Well, I'll tell you, if you start flying up like to melee them, they're gonna only attack you.
What if I kept my distance though?
Well, I mean, if you want to roll those dice literally, then go right ahead. That's life science game master, and you'll never be able to hit that DC. I'm not a xenobiology experiment. I'm human.
I know it's not my turn, but by any chance do you happen to know, could she know if they have any natural predators?
Honestly, they're like apex bird predators in this area of New Graca. So there's not like a bigger bird out there or anything.
But there's no crocodile where they're like seabirds or something. They're scared of crocodiles or anything.
Oh no, they will claw that crocodile's eyes out.
Okay,
Rebecca,
so this is the great white shark of the skies. Got it.
Well, I mean, this is. Some of them can get up to 7 foot wingspans. So these are like condors and eagles. they're dangerous.
Like we haven't seen a space crocodile that could chomp that out of the sky in our campaigns so far.
Okay, well, unless you guys want to find inside this water treatment facility a space crocodile next in our fights, there's nothing in the city besides SDF soldiers. Rebecca, one more piece of information. Anything you'd like to know?
Let's see. Can I just know their base stats, like their defensive abilities, or their AC and stuff?
So would you like to know their defensive abilities or resistances, or do you just want to know their numbers? I can just straight up give you your EAC or KAC if that's something you want.
Let me know defensive abilities and resistances if there are any.
They indeed have evasion. They are extremely fleet of flight and are blasted by 100-mile winds on the coastline, and have the ability to just shut out the roaring waves. They have sonic resistance 5.
And I just got a Thunderstrike pistol. What a shame.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So take that, Rebecca.
It serves me right. All right. Well, at least I know that now.
Mm-hmm. What would you like to do for your action?
Knowing that little bit of information, I'm going to use my laser pistol with a trick attack. And I'm just going to stay on the ground and follow Nigiri's advice and stay with my crowd.
I'm sorry, did you have your laser pistol out?
I don't know. Did I? Probably not.
If you hadn't said it, then I would.
And what's your range on the laser pistol? Because remember, these things are flying 40 feet in the air.
80, which is twice what the Thunderstrike is, actually, so it's longer range. But yeah, I probably have to pull it out, so I guess I can't trick then, but I will pull out my laser pistol. And can I not do that while I trick?
No, it's a move action. There are some feats you can take to whip out pistols, but I would just assume that you'd have your new pistol out. They are about 70 feet away, so it's up to you if you wanted to say you'd have your longer range out. That's fine, but regardless, you do have some distance between you and these birds at the very beginning. It looks like you're at the kind of back of the pack.
I thought we just decided if you had +1 BAB, you could pull out a weapon with a move action. Am I wrong about that?
No, you can as a move action. So if you want to move and pull that out and just make an attack, you can.
But I can't do that with a trick?
Trick attack is a full action.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Yeah, I guess I'll pull my laser pistol out with this new information. She's bummed because she wanted to use her cool new pistol, but that's all right. Now you got
both pistols out. You got your double wielding.
Yeah, dual wielding. All right. So, yeah, and we'll just ignore the trick attack on this.
Did you want to move closer or stay back there?
No, I'm gonna stay where I am.
Okay. What
So
you
it's
got?
a 19 on the attack.
Oh, that's a hit against EAC.
All right, so that's 4 damage.
Okay. Any particular one? There's two just right next to each other flying.
Yeah,
up there.
the one closer to Sprouts and Echo.
Got it. They're both like kind of right above these two little guys. But yeah, that is a hit. Let's go back to Echo 7 and Sprouts. They are once again next. You're set up with an unobstructed view of them above you. Echo 7.
Sprouts, let's take a walk. And we're going to walk up the steps here.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you
Moving.
taking me?
So this is going to be a double move to get up these steps. So each one's going to be about 10 foot.
Oh, really?
Yes, really.
Then let's go here, just so I can still make an attack.
Okay, so you're about halfway up the steps leading to the catwalk.
All right, and I'm going to shoot the closest one now, which is this one to the east. Once again, shoot at it with my hail cannon.
Okay, so they're about maybe 15, 20 feet above you, and you're trying to get an icy blast off. Make that attack.
That's a 24 to hit
That is a hit.
for 10 damage.
Nicely done.
Blast.
Look at that new +3 damage.
I'm really
Cold and
glad,
piercing.
really glad I got that personal upgrade.
Yeah, this one tries to shake off the blast, but yeah, you nearly knock it out of the sky as its wings are frozen over. But a flurry of flaps and calls come in your direction towards your Presley body as it's still flying. Let's go to our good friend Sprouts next. You're on top of Echo 7, and you still got two bird targets here.
Yeah, so Sprouts is going to try to follow up on the same bird that Drew was, or the Echo was hitting.
Mhm.
His trick attack. Another fail on the trick, and 11 to hit.
11 against EAC is going to be a miss. Sorry.
I figured as much.
Yeah, we're not too far off, but need better than a 4 or 5 or 2 attacks so far.
You sure?
I did not roll really well on initiative, as these guys did fly out. So Trest is next.
Oh boy.
Right behind these guys. What you got?
Let's see. So with the knowledge that they don't really have too many predators, I gotta think they must like to eat lots of things. So I channel all the sounds that I can imagine of squeaky little Brenari or little muskrats of some sort, chittering and squeaking tastily, feet covered in honey, so they move a little more slowly, and also tasty little morsel treats. So there's a little squishing sound as they squish, 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 and a little weep, 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 weep as they scooch along just out of sight over there. I'm casting Ghost Sound.
Oh my goodness. Level 0 to make them believe that there are lots
tasty
of food things.
Yeah, that there are tasty treats elsewhere.
Okay, I'll roll my will saves in secret here.
Oh boy, the DC is 13, so it's quite low. But my hope is that bird brain comes from somewhere.
You are unsure if they seem to care. They do, after getting hit multiple times, seem to be in aggro mode still after casting these. But Devasha, give me a will save. See if you're hungry.
Oh man, I knew I was gonna.
Yeah, who here likes to eat small rodents?
Oh, come on, who doesn't?
I failed. 1 on the dice. I guess I'm headed over there.
And Devasha's out of this combat. No. Do you have a move action you'd like as well, Trest? Anything you want to do?
I mean, I suppose I'll start moving up the stairs, and I'll in my turn right behind Echo 7, and on the way I'll sort of draw the sword just in case something happens.
Okay. Get their back.
Yeah.
Next up is my bird brains, my muatos. And believe it or not, they have a wicked fly speed. for something with 4 wings. And I'm going to use a special ability. Part of this, as a full action, they are indeed going to double their move speed. They're making an attack as they dive bomb down on... one's going to go to Zinnia. Whoop. And one is going right past an Echo 7 and a Sprouts. Let's see which one. Coming for Echo 7. Let me just see here. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to make a couple of... Let's do this first attack on Zinnia. Flying by you. Uno momento. Yeah, I think that might do it. This thing flies right past you, so it's going down about 35 feet in a very fast movement, and then flying kind of behind and up over this this empty pavilion here. And as it does, it doesn't claw out at you, but indeed tries to swipe something from your... Actually, no, does it? Yes, it does. I've rolled a 10 on the dice. Actually, make me a perception check. See if it seems to have grabbed something off of your kit.
It's a 23 plus 1 to vision based.
Oh no! It has indeed swiped one of your extra batteries.
Oh. I thought it swiped the crystal. I got really worried for a second.
No, that's in a pocket. I was hoping to get a pistol, but now she's holding them both. So it cannot indeed make disarms very well, but it can try and steal something. And there's nothing really on Echo 7. I'm like looking at your character sheet, and it's like huge thing. Boy.
They can take a grenade I made that will do them no good.
Yeah. I think this one is just going to make a attack against your KAC. This does. It's just flying right by and up about 30 feet again. What is your KAC, Drew?
19.
Oh boy. 5 on the dice. It comes down there and just makes a full claw against your metal chassis, armored up as it is, and doesn't seem to penetrate, scratch at all. As it is zipping by, Tress, you've got your sword ready, but it happens so quickly. Does not provoke. Not provoke from either of you guys.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, it was like past you in a heartbeat. This might be like one of the fastest flying creatures when it's in that dive bomb formation here on Ultraneous. That is their round, though. I've got a battery in my equipment now. Next and last in the turn order is a Devasho.
And let's just add this to the list of useless fights I've been in.
You've got range capabilities.
Oh yeah, it's also sonic damage.
Oh no!
But it's at least it uses my strength modifier, so I can easily rip through 5 resistance of sonic. That's going to be the name of the game. But not this turn. This turn's going to be really boring. Move action to get the shield out, and move action to get out the flingable disc. Oh man, we're going to take so many range penalties to this. That's my whole turn. It's just getting out equipment.
That's fine.
Are you attuning to anything?
Sure. I'm attuning to pretzel mode.
Pretzel attunement.
Oh, maybe they will. If you hadn't taken off that disc, they might have tried to steal it from you. But I don't think you have much in the way of
tiny things,
light things that they can carry.
Maybe that kit. But I will. I mean, I'm going to go to Graviton because I'll probably try to yank one of the things out of the air if they survive that long. But I mean, that's about the best I can do.
Sure. We are back to the top of the turn order with Zinnia.
All right. This time I'm going to attempt a trick attack. So can I see the bird that flew at my head? Is it above the crate that I'm sitting next to?
Yeah, you'll have to move to get a good beat on either of you. You might see like a wing flapping for both of them above, but you do not have a good shot.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to move forward by 10 feet. I'm going to stay on the ground, though, and just aim up at the bird that flew over Trust and Echo and Sprouts a minute ago.
Yep.
All right. Laser pistol shot with a trick attack. Ooh, the trick is a 2 or lower.
Wow, man, some low rolls here. What's that attack roll?
And a natural 1 on the attack.
Oh, no. I've never seen so many. I mean, I guess I just thought you guys have an amazing trick attack each because you made almost every one in book 1, but it's like 3 misses in a row. Rebecca, that is indeed a critical fail. What do you want here for a fail?
Let's go with the official deck.
All right, pulling it out.
Great. Our most deadly combat is going to be against
Birds.
3 birds.
It's Chuck and Red, and there may be
Not
Bomb
as
will
fun
show up.
Yet. Angry Birds, if you would like to endorse a Starfighter episode, please contact at cosmiccrit@gmail.com.
Sorry, my wife has been using my office and apparently doesn't realize how important the critical fail cards are to be right in front of my computer at all times. I think she might have put them away in their boxes too. I'm never this tidy. Bam. Okay, this is a energy weapon. Oh goodness, fire. Oh, the card is well, maybe we've had this one before. Manufacturing flaw. Any attack made with your weapon deals energy damage to its wielder equal to its item level until the weapon is repaired with a successful engineering check. So the pistol indeed starts to heat up that classic SDF design, and you take 1 point of fire damage.
Right. Well, I'm glad it was my laser pistol and not my Thunderstrike, because that would be a 4.
It just starts humming in your hand. So still can use it, but you're just going to take a little bit of damage when you do. Oh boy. What a start. We are back to Echo 7, Drew.
So these have moved around. Which is the bird that we were shooting the last turn?
Is the one closest to you. It's still about 30 foot in the air, but is behind you, maybe about 20 feet or so.
All right. Don't want to take 2 shots. 2 shots is dumb because of the rate, because of the speed. 2 shots is dumb, right?
Well, did we find out their EAC? I thought we did.
No.
Oh.
You found out that your thunder weapons were going to do nothing to it.
Yep.
Which is great. Which is better than knowing.
Very valuable information.
Yeah, very valuable. I mean, you could try it.
I'm going to take 2 shots. I haven't taken 2 shots this entire campaign so far. Here we go.
Probably a good way to figure out their KAC.
Shot the first.
Giant.
That's a 4 on the dice. That's not going to do much. It's an 8.
I can tell you, an 8 is going to be a miss.
Yep. All right. So we'll do shot the second. It's a 16.
16 against KAC is a hit.
Boom! 8 points of damage.
Okay. And this one has taken a bunch of cold and piercing damage as you see just like a flume of ice and feathers blast off this thing, kind of like making a halo around it as it's trying to shake off the damage, but it looks like it is almost ready to be grounded from 2 huge heavy weapon blasts.
Go back to your nest.
Sprouts, Marlowe, we're on to you. You got the dead eye that is needed in this situation?
I certainly hope so. I'm going to take a shot at the same bird.
Private First Class Kill Steal himself.
It's a CR 7 or lower for the trick.
Oh, yeah.
And that's 25 to hit.
Yeah, super hit. 19 on the dice.
It's a total of 7 damage.
This one had 5 hit points left, so it is dead. Yeah! Blasted right out of the sky.
Tyler the Prophet.
Fist bump.
BFCKS?
Tiny fist bump.
Trest, we're back to you. There's now just one of these birds back behind Xenia, and from what your teammates have saw, supposedly another one in the room.
You said another one in the roost?
Yeah, in this like square section up the catwalk.
The big one that we haven't come across yet.
You guys can probably hear it now that you're closer to it. There's indeed some distress calls coming from inside.
I'm sorry, did you say distress calls or distress cause?
Let's
see. Well, I've only got a 20-foot move speed, so I guess I'm going to make a move action no matter what, and I guess I'll keep going up the stairs. As I do, I'll reach back and see it took a battery from out of Xenia's pocket, and I'm going to sort of reach down with a hand, use telekinetic telekinetic projectile to grab another battery out of Zinnia's pack and just fling it at the bird.
No, that's what it wants. It wants the batteries.
Oh no, it wants all the batteries. Oh no. Zinnia, I'll find that later.
There's rocks nearby too, if you want. You know, I mean, there's like
I want the $50 rock. Whee!
gravel.
16 versus KAC.
That's a hit. Is there any range on this from like where you're standing?
Oh yeah, I guess it's not a very far range.
What is the range?
30 feet. Never mind.
30 feet. Well, I can hope maybe this can give you some more information, at least about its. Yeah, this is against KAC, right?
Yeah.
So it is 45 feet away from you, and about this one's about 20 foot off the ground. So I think that's just one increment out. You're not beyond 60 feet.
Right. I don't think so.
So that is a -2, and against KAC, that's a hit.
Yes.
I was about to say this might be like very close to the number and at least tell you like what the neighborhood is, but nope, that is exactly its KAC.
All right, 2 points of damage, and the battery sort of falls down to the ground harmlessly.
No, it grabs it.
Oh no!
It's 2 now.
2 batteries. I'm so sorry, Zinnia.
That happened, and next it's back to its turn. Oh, friend was killed by an evil shiny thing, so it's going straight at an Echo 7.
I'm sorry, its friend was killed by an evil tiny plant thing.
On top of a evil shiny thing. It is going to dive bomb in your direction. Actually, I think it has to fly up a little bit, so I don't know if it can get too far away and fly down to where you are on the steps here leading up. It's just going to make a regular attack against your KAC. And if your KAC is still 18 as it was last turn, I've rolled an 8 on the dice, and that is a miss.
It's 19 if it was attacking to me.
Oh, what's your KAC?
19.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He hasn't changed it in roll 20.
Right. I was about to say, that's why I should ask every time instead of assuming. It didn't seem like it was a very strategic attack. This one was born from passion of loving pretzels and hating its best friend die. That is a miss. There's more cause of distress coming from inside there as a much larger Mu'ata kind of flies out and is surveying the scene from above and kind of like maybe jumps on top of this building. Devasha, we are back to you.
Okay, cool. Well, this one that just attacked Echo 7 is probably just only one increment out of my range, so that's a great opportunity for me.
Yeah, it's only about 20 feet up in the air. So what's your range?
15 feet away, 20 feet up, thrown object with a range of 20 feet is going to be one. I think it's going to be one increment.
Indeed.
So we're just going to use every ounce of strength to hurl this disc and hopefully roll high on damage.
Yeah, I hope you guys hope that every time you attack.
Well, sometimes. Oh, natural toot. Natural toot.
Hey, and
Kaboom!
A 1 on damage roll.
Wow. That was
a typical Tyler roll? Yes, we know.
Okay, we're going to use a swift action to call the disc back, and then we're going to use a move action. And what are we going to do here? How high up is the catwalk? Like
30 foot.
30 foot. I don't think I can climb that. And there's a stairway with all my friends on it.
You can start climbing up the stairs if you want.
Yeah, I feel like this thing's just going to take off, though, and then it really doesn't matter. So I'm actually going to align my shield to this bird.
The bigger one? Yeah, after you've...
increased my AC.
You guys have got a little bit of information. This does indeed seem to be the female of the species.
Sweet. Then I'm done.
The leader of the pack. That is turn 2. Zinnia, we're back to you. Hope you don't run out of ammunition anytime soon. Dual-wielding strategy.
I just bought 2 new batteries that are now gone. But
gone forever. Unless you get them back. What do you want to do?
She's going to move forward just a little bit toward the stairs. I'm not climbing up the stairs, and I'm going to continue shooting at the smaller of the 2 Muatas.
All right, you've got one shot off on this one before. Here comes the second potential.
So CR 7 or lower on the trick.
It is tricked.
Actually, 9 or lower. And the attack is a 24.
That is a hit. What's the damage here? You're scoring this one right through the lower left wing.
Yeah, a total of 7 damage.
Okay, this one is looking pretty hurt. It seems to be kind of, one wing like hardly flapping at all. This one that you guys have hit. So it is limping and looks like it is not doing too well in this fight either, like its friend. Echo 7, you see this one limping through the air. What would you like to do?
Can I make it to the top of the stairs in a single move at this point?
Yeah, so that'll be about 20 foot to get up there.
Oh, yeah, cool. That's easy then. So Sprouts and I are going to head in that direction to the top there, and I'm going to try to take a shot at this injured birdie with the hail cannon.
We really need some combo art for these two.
Ooh, that's a 13.
13 against KAC. Oh, that is a miss.
Oh.
You determined it's KAC last round, and that won't do. But Sprouts Marlowe, you might be able to hit that old EAC this turn. What you got, Miles?
I'm going to try my best. Rolling ye old dice.
It's coming at you.
Ooh, not any better. It's 12 on the dice.
Well, what was your trick?
Yeah.
13, CR 13.
Holy moly! Yes, those are the normal trick attacks I'm used to from you guys. Rolling those zeros, I was like, what is this? So it is tricked, and against EAC, tricked EAC, 12 is a hit.
Oh boy! So that's 13 points of damage.
What? Whoa! Hold on.
Yeah, baby.
I forgot how crazy a trick attack at level 3 can be. Oh yeah, you've rolled you rolled 5 on a 1d6 and 7 on a 1d8. This one plummets to the ground dead.
Yes! PFCKS!
Clack clack, 2 batteries hitting the ground. They have sturdy cases, they're fine. But that is out of it. Trest, we are back to you. There's one large mother. It is about 10 feet up, just on the top of actually, it would be like on the railing, right on the catwalk level, flapping its wings.
Yeah, I guess I'd feel bad obstructing their shot, but I'd also feel bad just letting the bird just walk up to them and eat them. So,
so there's like the circular catwalk around this. You can step into this square if you're.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is. Am I at the top level right now where I am?
You're maybe like a few steps down.
Okay, so would this be 10 feet of movement to get here?
Well, you could do a 10 foot to like move into their
like over into there. Okay, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, and then
how much?
I don't know. I think I have 20 feet of movement. That's the problem.
Yeah, so you might be able to just
get this might be the best I can do right now.
But you want to get up in this bird's face.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up in the.
It rears up its wings in like defensive mode as you're coming in towards it, and it like rears up a claw.
Anything useful I want to do? Nah, I know what I want to do. I want to do nothing useful and slash it with my sword.
Sword diplomacy.
Oh,
yeah.
Jeez.
23 to hit.
18
nice.
On the dice. Boy, oh boy, that's a hit in any book.
Yeah, and 8 points of damage.
8. It is indeed going to take up flight. You can actually make an attack of opportunity because I don't think its flight up is going to not provoke moving out of your square.
Yeah.
So it's flying straight up for a bit.
Oh, 9.
That is going to be a miss, and it is going to make a dive bomb on somebody. Let's see. Going for Echo 7.
Of course,
Drew. You've murdered her brood.
I love how Echo is getting the blame for Sprouts' kills.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It's happened twice in this combat.
Not making an attack as it is. Ooh, it flies off the map about how far can I get? About 40 foot east off the map as it pilfers something from your belt.
Y'all, what if it was Sprouts
I looked at the rules. I was like, oh, it's got to be of 1, I think, or negligible bulk. I was like, how much does sprouts weigh? Oh, it can't do it. Yeah. I was like, maybe all 3 of them can lift sprouts up, but then you start killing them. As soon as that popped into my mind, I started feverishly looking at rules. It does take something off if you make a perception check, Drew, see if you can tell what it is.
It's a 16.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go through your entire kit here you're not sure what it is just by looking down. Definitely took something, and it's in its clawed hands. But it's moving off, and don't know if Devasha, you'd be able to get a hit off on it before it goes. It is about 70. No, a lot more than that. It's like 100 feet away from you.
That's way too far. I can't do anything.
Let's see. Does anyone want to make some pot shots? As it is indeed going to fly away on its turn. Zinnia, Echo 7, and Sprouts. Do you want to try to bring it down?
Yes,
I'll try.
Yes. How many shots can I take?
1. Well, 2 if you want, but
It's a 19.
with a trick attack, that is going to be a hit.
That's 7 points of damage.
Because it matters. I'm only take 1 shot, so
Okay.
it's a 14.
That is... Well, what's the range on your hail cannon?
60.
60 foot. You are out of range, I believe. So
Yeah, I mean, if the 16 didn't hit earlier, I don't think a 14 is going to hit. It was a 13 earlier.
It's within... If it was within 1 range increment, it would be, but it is 40 foot off the map, which is about 70 foot away from where you're at right now. Zinnia, what you got?
An 11 on the attack.
And your range?
80 with my laser pistol.
It is tricked. Ooh, I think you might... No, you're on the ground level, so you're actually significantly further away than they are at the top here, as it is flying upwards and onwards. That is a miss too, and it is indeed going to disappear behind.
Can I try to throw an object at it?
You can. You can. Oh, is this going to be another telekinetic? Give me more items.
I grab one more battery from Zinnia.
No, get the one from the dead bird.
I grab the dead bird. Now throw it.
I'm going to make a rule: if you don't have items on you to throw, you're going to have to make a very hard perception check to just like pull something off the ground, because we're not going to go through that.
Okay. This sounds like I need a fanny pack. All right, I'll throw a rock.
A lot of magicians or mystics will keep just like big old ball bearings or something on them.
Well, yeah, it's like a Mistborn, right? Like you have your coin shots where they just like shoot coins at people.
Wow, that sounds annoying and painful.
I'm gonna run forward and take a shot and
and miss terribly.
Miss badly, yeah. Glad I didn't
throw is gone.
Glad I didn't throw a battery.
Sorry, guys. It is indeed making away. Yeah, it's hurting pretty bad from those shots. You wing this thing, Sprouts, but it has made away with a healing serum, Mark 1. And we are out of combat.
You didn't want to take a grenade.
Not in the least.
Zinnia's going to go and pick up her batteries and trust a dirty look.
Thank you for your assistance, Zinnia. It was most useful. And I come over to look at this water that appears to be green and bubbling.
I mean, it's just like backed up rainwater, and it seems like there's a lot of kind of trash strewn about it as you get up to the catwalk. And anybody that wants to, it is backed up. It does seem like a good deal of, it looks like trash that might be larger than what these birds can bring up here. Maybe the wind brought it up or something along those lines. But yeah, now that we are indeed out of combat, who wants to go up there and try and fix this thing? I'm gonna tell you now that indeed this issue is gonna require engineering to fix to get this straightened out.
Zinnia will roll up her sleeves and take a stab.
Yeah, can we look at perception to see what we need to do first, or is engineering going to cover that?
Yeah, I mean, whoever wants to can head up there and give me a perception check. Devasha, are you heading up to?
Yeah.
and give me one of those good old-fashioned Devasho perceptions.
Oh yeah, my Devasho specialty. 6.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So there's a good amount just kind of like down in the well. It looks like blocking this up, but you see what looks like the command section in this little squared off area where the Muada roost is. You have to clear out a whole bunch of trash as you're moving in here. But it looks like indeed there's a great deal of mechanical tools that you can operate from here to clear out the blockage and get it back operational, which indeed will be a engineering check that anybody wants to can try and aid. There's not a limit on this.
I will aid.
So you're heading to. I'm guessing Zinnia. You wanna be the lead role.
Yeah.
Aided from Devasho.
You're crawling inside this little area.
Yeah. Aided from Trest, I cast a psychokinetic hand, and I'm sort of like reaching in and sort of dredging up whatever's down in there, just to sort of like help her sort of see what we're dealing with here.
I'm helping. You stir up a whole bunch of contaminants and dust in there, and it's all cloudy now. Oh no.
All right, here we go.
Did everyone roll an aid?
No, only 2. So that's a 30 with the aids.
Okay, good. Yes. So, as you go to start manipulating these panels here, indeed, you're pressing a button and there's nothing happening, and then you hear an off kind of panel click, followed by a beeping, and your attention is drawn to the bottom of this control panel where you see some loose wires, and as you peer down below, you see what looks like a small tube wrapped in clear plastic. Inside is a large clump of clay and what looks like some wires attached to it, with a small computer and an LED screen. Counting down and reading a message on it that says, "To be continued."
No!
Bum, bum, bum.
No!
I can't believe that.
Oh, you guys are in for it next week.
It sounded like another little Amy for a minute.
Yeah.
My little pet.
Yeah, except until he said clay, and it's like, uh-oh.
Oh no, we've got an explosive episode next week on the
I don't like the word he used there.
Good times. But whew, boy, that's gonna do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoy the new boss of this book 2, the matron Muata, who is definitely coming back. She's gonna be stabbing herself with that that hypo and healing back up over the next day.
I knew that was an intelligent bird.
She's coming right after you.
Well, I was gonna say that Zinnia was going to warn the crew that we're probably under a time crunch because that bird is going to come back with all of her friends. But now we have a freaking bomb, so we're actually under a time
bomb
crunch.
that we can throw at the birds. Psychokinetic hand to that.
Oh no, maybe I failed to express. No, you guys are going to explode next episode.
Yeah, I think the timer isn't so much at 127, or is at 10.
Good times. This has been Cosmic Crit, guys. Thanks for playing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone out there, thanks for listening. And tick tock, the clock goes down. We'll see you next week.
Cheers.
night.
Healthy.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Cosmic Crit. This episode has been made possible through a sponsorship with Roll20 and the backing of our Critamander fans on Patreon. Thanks again and have a great week.